Hello everyone, and welcome to Board State. Today, we got ourselves a little present in the mail. I ordered a box and a couple bundles from Card Kingdom a little while back, and they just got in today, so figured might as well do a little bit of a box opening for y'all. So let's start off and crack this box. Yes. Yes, box opening, yes. Haven't done one of these on this channel ever, actually. So this will be nice. Change of pace. So doing occasional deck techs and whatnot. So yes, move that back a little bit. Let's start opening some packs. So I opened the two bundles already. Only got like two mythics: the legendary vampire, the black one, Vona, and Boneyard Parlay, which not super exciting, but let's see what we got to work with. We got Brazen Buccaneers, 4 mana 2/2, haste, ATB Explorer, not super exciting. Looming Altasaur, 1/7 for 4. Queen's Bay Soldier, just a black bear. Fireshine Keeper. For most people, this team seems to be the best one of the cycle. I want to agree with them. Ravenous Daggertooth, 3 mana 3/2 with Enrage. Whenever it's all damage, gain 2 life. The 2 power or the 2 toughness isn't super great for this kind of ability, but you know, to each their own. Shaper's Apprentice has flying as long as you control another merfolk, which in merfolk strategies I imagine is fairly decent. Blinding Fog, 3 mana fog, give creatures you control hexproof until end turn. That seems that kind of ability seems pretty strong to me. I'll put you right there. Paladin the Bloodstained, 4 mana 3/2. When it enters, make a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. Seems decent. Gilded Sentinel, 4 mana 3/3. Just golem, because why not? Thrash of Raptors. 3 and a red for a 3/3. Gets +2/+0 and trample if you control another dinosaur. It seems like a pretty strong limited card. This is a card I really enjoy. Lookout's Dispersal. 2 and a blue for an instant. Costs 1 less if you control a pirate, and counter target spell unless its control pays 4. So if you have a pirate, it's just a better mana leak. If you don't, then it's still pretty okay. So seems good. Vicious Conquistador, single black for a 1/2. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 1. It could be good. I don't know for sure. It fits really well into the 1 mana slot for vampires, but again, nobody knows. Billowing Aegisaur, 5 and a white for a 3/5 dinosaur. Whenever it's sold damage, put 1/1 counters on each creature you control. Seems solid. And our rare is Ashes of the Abhorrent. Graveyard players beware. 1 and a white for an enchantment. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. And whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. Seems solid. And we got a little swampy swamp with it. Nice little flower there. And then our token is a treasure with the little pterodon on top. Rawr! So we got land and token. So that's pack 1. Or we'll run through the commons and uncommons fairly slowly for another 1 or 2 packs, and then we'll start just barreling through. Good one to start with. Suncrowned Hunters, 4 red for a 5/4. Whenever it's sold damage, deal 3 to target opponent. Solid. Vampire Zeal, single white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a vampire, it gets first strike. Seems really good for vampire decks. Desperate Castaways, 1 and a black for a 2/3. Can't attack unless you control an artifact, which underwhelming for the most part unless you're building around that kind of strategy. There's another Fireshine Keeper, which we won't go too far into depth. I didn't really talk about it last time, so single red, 1/1 menace, 7 red, tap, sack it, deal 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. Shorekeeper, single blue for a 0/3, 7 blue, tap, sack it, draw 3 cards, so could be an Ancestral Recall if you're willing to wait it out. Jade Guardian, 3 and a green for a 2/2 with hexproof. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target merfolk you control, which means you can put it on itself if you want, in which case you have a 4 mana 3/3 with hexproof, which is still pretty good. Dive Down, single blue for an instant. Target creature you control gets +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn. That actually seems like a pretty solid card. Don't know what strategies you'll see it in, but it seems like the kind of card that'll, like, some of the slower decks are going to want. Ooh, Colossal Dreadmaw. 4 green green for a 6/6 with trample. Just gotta love big guys with keywords. Demolish, good reprint. 3 in red, destroy a target artifact or land for sorcery. It's been around. Now we're in the uncommons. We got Stormfleet Aerialist, 1 in a blue for a 1/2 with flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if you attack with the creature this turn, because it's got raid. See a little raid right there. And so 1/2 with flying for otherwise. So yeah. Oop, wrong pile. Raider's Wake. 3 in a black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. And it's got raid for at the beginning of your end step. If you attack with a creature this turn, target opponent discards card. Synergies. Synergies. Last uncommon is Stormfleet Spy, 2 in a blue for a 2/2 with raid. When it enters, draw a card with if you attack with a creature this turn. So neat. And our rare is first Planeswalker, Vraska, Relic Seeker. I really like this Vraska. 4 black green for a 6 loyalty legendary Planeswalker Vraska. +2 to make a 2/2 black pirate with menace. -3 to destroy an artifact, creature, or enchantment and make a treasure token. Or -10 to make target player's life total become 1. Which, again, seems like a really strong ability. And, we've got a foil rare. Daring Saboteur. 1 in a blue for a 2/1. 2 in a blue. Can't be blocked this turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. The foiling on this doesn't seem super pronounced, which is kind of disappointing, but beggars can't be choosers. We got a nice looking little foil mountain with the little Aztec Mayan building in the corner there. And we got a different treasure token this time, the one with all the Sun Empire armor all over it. And now pack number 3. After this pack, we'll start kind of just digging through the commons a little faster. But we'll just do this one more time. Now we got Queen's Commission, 2 in a white for a sorcery, create 2 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with a lifelink. Solid. 2 dudes, seriously. Blight Keeper, black card in the cycle. Black for a 1/1 with flying. 7 black tap. Target opponent 7 black tap sack. Keep forgetting the sack part. Target opponent loses 4 life and you gain 4 life, which could be good, could be bad. Got another Shorekeeper, which we've gone over already. River Herald's Boon. 1 in the green for an instant, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target merfolk. That could be good could be. It probably will be pretty good in merfolk decks. It's just an instant speed combat trick. Siren's Ruse. 1 in the blue for an instant. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If a pirate was exiled this way, draw a card. So, flicker a thing. If it was a pirate, draw. Jungle Delver, which I tend to enjoy actually quite a little bit. Single green for a 1/1, but for 3 and a green, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's just like a build around. It's like you just build them up over the game. Seems solid. Raptor Companion, 1 in a white for a 3/1. That's it. It's a card. As is Ancient Brontodon, 6 green green for a 9/9. That's it. Pounce, 1 in the green for an instant. Target creature you control fights a creature you don't control. That's neat. Imperial Lancer has double strike as long as you control a dinosaur. It's a 1/1 for a single white. Good little support card in dinosaur builds. That's about it. Dark Nourishment, 4 and a black for an instant. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player. You gain 3 life. Again, probably another good combat trick. Even aside from that, it's good in Blackburn builds and stuff like that. So I like it. Next up, we've got Unclaimed Territory, which I like for every single tribal build you want to build. It's a land. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Tap to add a colorless, or tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend that mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type. Note that it says creature spell, not just spell, so it doesn't actually synergize stupidly well with tribal cards, but whatever. Rare is Shadowed Caravel, 2/2 vehicle for 2. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it has crew too. That's a lot of twos. And then we got a foil Nest Robber. We're getting a lot of foils in this box. One in a red for a 2/1 with haste. And it's a little dinosaur. He's got a little egg. I like that on Twitter, actually, one of the guys I follow brought up the fact that like, historically speaking, this kind of dinosaur wasn't actually stealing eggs more than just hiding them from other dinosaurs that wanted to. And so there was a Wizards R&D person that actually like wrote out robber and replaced it with helper, and they changed the flavor text to is a good mother, which I thought was funny. So then we got our foil, or we not a foil, just a regular plains and island. I'm bad at this today. Got the pretty little ship right there. Nice little pretty ship. And we got dinosaur token. I like that, which I believe is is a token that you can get from either Raptor Hatchling or Huatley. So that's a neat looking little token. Okay, now we've run through 3 packs, so I won't go too depth into any of the comments, so I'll just run through them real quick. Won't describe them all too much. I'll make sure you can actually kind of see them. We got Dual Shot, Slash of Talons, Mark of the Vampire, Sure Strike, Siren Lookout, Ravenous Daggertooth, Shaper Apprentice, New Horizons, which is still a pretty good card, Sky March Bloodletter, Demystify, just good enchant removal. First uncommon is Siren Storm Tamer, single blue for a 1/1 flyer, blue and Psychic, counter target speller ability to targets you or a creature you control, which is pretty good, honestly, on a body like that. Next up is Dusk Legion Dreadnought, 5 mana for a 4/6 vehicle with Vigilance and Crew 2. I like that a lot. Nice body, good crew cost. It's a little expensive, but it's a 4/6 Vigilance, so it explains a lot. Next uncommon is Chart a Course, pretty good in pirate builds. 1 in a blue for a sorcery, draw 2 cards. Discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. So it's basically I got raid, but not really. And then our rare is Bona, Butcher of Magon. This is the second one of these guys I opened. 3 white black for a 4/4 legendary creature Vampire Knight. Vigilance, lifelink, tap, pay 7 life, destroy a non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn, because otherwise that would be busted. And then no foil, but we do have a mountain. It doesn't look like one of the Where's Jace mountains, so oh well. And then vampire token. So next pack. I'm really liking the flavor in this set. It's really nice. All the pirates and dinosaurs and bears on my Desperate Castaways. I'm trying to keep this a little centered. Sun-Crowned Hunters, Vampire Zeal, Deadeye Tormentor. I like this guy in pirate builds. He's pretty neat. Another Jade Guardian, Shorekeeper again, River Herald's Boon, Prosperous Pirates, Hijack, Pious Interdiction, just a better arrestability. First uncommon is Makeshift Munitions. 1 in the red for an enchantment. Pay 1 generic, sacrifice an artifact or creature, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So that's neat. Second uncommon is Tempest Caller, which is a pretty good blowout card for late game if you're just ready to slam in and destroy your opponent. 2 blue for a 2/3 Merfolk Wizard. Enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. Notice, I am the storm. It reminds me of I can't think of it now. Sylvester Stallone movie, Judge Dredd, where he was being all like, I am the... That's funny. Next uncommon is Thundering Spineback, good Dino Lord. 5 green for 5/5. Other dinos you control get +1/+1. 5 in green, make a green dinosaur creature token with trample. So you make one of those guys we opened a little while ago. And our rare in this pack is Dragon Skull Summit, one of the buddy lands. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or mountain, and it taps to add black or red to your mana pool, which is pretty neat. No foil again, just a pretty looking little forest. And we got an illusion token, so hopefully that's foreshadowing for us, telling us we're going to open a Jace, but it doesn't seem super likely. I kind of get these all kind of evenly spaced out so I'm not running cards into cards and whatnot. Alright, next pack. Yeah, I haven't done one of these box openings in a long time. Was on my old channel. Either way, I enjoy it. Tillinolly's Knight, Queen's Commission, Skullduggery, Ryle, good for enraged decks, Crash the Ramparts, Shipwreck Looter, Commune with Dinos, or as the guys over on Loading Ready Run have referred to it, Triceratops, which is kind of funny. Sailor of Means, Duress, good old-fashioned reprint. Pious Interdiction again, neat little arrestability. First uncommon is Raider's Wake. I believe we talked about this earlier, but I'll go through it again. 3 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2. Raid, at the beginning of your end step, if you attack with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. Still pretty solid ability in those, especially aggro decks. Second uncommon we have is Sleek Schooner. 3 mana for a 4/3 with crew 1. Oh, pretty solid in those fairly aggressive decks. 4/3 is a good body. Gets lightning strike, but for the most part, you're not super worried about that. Next uncommon is Call to the Feast. One of those 3 dudes seriously cards. 2 white black for a sorcery. Make 3 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. Obviously good in vampire builds, but aside from that, it would be pretty good in kind of aristocrat strategies or just token builds in general. And our rare for this pack is Tillinolly's Skin Shifter. 2 and a red for a 0/1 with haste. Whenever it attacks, it becomes a copy of another target non-legendary attacking creature until end of turn. Seems kind of unimpressive to me for a rare, but you know, I'm not R&D. I can't tell them what to do. So, not my job. And no foil, but we do have a really nice looking swamp here. And then our token is another one of those Sun Empire treasure tokens. So that's neat. I wish I had editing capabilities where I could kind of make this a little faster for y'all, but alas, I am but a poor college student. We've got a Nest Robber, which we got a foil of earlier. Sunrise Seeker. Ixalan's Keeper, we've got a rhyming thing going on. Ops, good reprint. People say it's going to be pretty good in Delver strategies. I say it remains to be seen. As a Delver player myself, I'm not super excited about it. Pounce, Prying Blade, Headstrong Brute, Kinjali's Collar, good Dino tribal card. Tishana's Wayfinder, one of the first cards that was spoiled to preview Explorer, I believe. Encampment Keeper, and then the white card in that cycle. First uncommon is Stormfleet Aerialist, one of the blue for a 1/2 flyer. Enters the battlefield +1/+1 counter on it. If you attack with the creature this turn, went over that a little earlier, so I'm not going to go too in depth. Raptor Hatchling, 1 in the red for a 1/1. Whenever it's dealt damage, make a 3/3 Dino with Trample. Seemed solid. Last uncommon is Adonto Vanguard. 1 in white for a 1/1. As long as it's attacking, it's +2/+0. You can pay 4 life to give it indestructible until end of turn. So that's pretty neat. And our rare is Kopala, Warden of Waves. I was wondering when I was going to see one of the legendary merfolk. 1 white for a 2/2. Spells your opponents cast that target a merfolk you control, cost 2 more to cast. And abilities your opponents activate that target a merfolk you control, cost 2 more to activate. I'm actually interested in building a merfolk deck just around Kopala and see how that ends up turning out, but not being a fish player, don't know how well that's going to turn out. Island is our land for the pack, and then we got another Dino token, so that's pretty neat. That kind of refresh y'all's memory on what this guy looks like. Next pack we've got here is Skyblade of the Legion, starting us off. Gotta make sure this is in frame. Skittering Heartstopper. 1 with the Wind. Good little enchantment there for limited. Ixalan's Keeper. Encampment Keeper. Run Aground. Unknown Shores, good old fashioned fixing. I like the little rainbow right there. It's kind of hard to see for y'all. I'll try to make it as visible as I can. Right there, pretty rainbow. Swashbuckling. Headwater Sentries. Vanquish the Weak, kind of just a mediocre version of removal when we have Fatal Push in standard right now. First uncommon is another makeshift munitions. I won't go too in depth about that since we already opened one of these guys. We got a Kuminous Speaker. I like this guy a little bit. Single green for a 1/1, gets +1/+1 as long as you control another merfolk or an island, which in a format that has a little bit of dual lands in it, seems pretty solid. Granted, they're not enemy duels, but you know, you get what you get. Last uncommon is a Bonded Horncrest, 3 in a red for a 5/5 that can't attack or block alone. Never been a huge fan of these kind of cards, but you know, it's a 5/5 for 4 otherwise, so not terrible. And our rare is Axis of Mortality. Have not seen this card enough. 4 white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have 2 target players exchange life totals. Pretty good in Commander, I'd imagine. Aside from that, I don't imagine this thing's a lot of play. Except maybe as stupid sideboard tech against like Death Shadow decks, which is, at that point, you're just killing yourself. No foil, but we do have a check card. One of those, like, hey, I have one of the whatever, search for Azcanta, and you can mark it off and use that as your card because it's got the regular magic back. And then we've got the treasure token, the vampire guys, the Dusk Legion. That's it. That's what they're called, the Dusk Legion armor token. So put those guys in there. Next pack. We got another Tillinol's Knight. Storm Sculptor, Spike-tailed Ceratops, Prying Blade, Headstrong Brute, Kinjali's Collar. I like these guys. Hoping to get a few more of these so I can build myself a Naya Dinos deck. Tishana Wayfinder again, Encampment Keeper yet again, Cobbled Wings, and first uncommon is Inspiring Cleric. 2 and a white for a 3/2 vampire cleric. Into the battlefield, gain 4 life. Abilities like that on kind of mediocre bodies don't seem super great, especially in a format full of removal. So, not super happy about that. Ixalan's Binding I am happy about. I forgot this card was an uncommon. 3 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever Ixalan's Binding enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Until Ixalan's Binding leaves the battlefield, your opponent can't cast cards with the same name as the exiled card. Would not be good in Commander, but dang it all if it's not good as a sideboard card for Constructed. Next uncommon is Sky Terror, red-white for a 2/2 with Flying and Menace. Just good card. 2 evasion keywords means your opponent can't just get around one of them, they have to get around both of them. And our rare for the pack is, oh, nope, that's a Ravenous Daggertooth. Wonder where our rare is. Oh, we've got a rare in there. It's behind the Ravenous Daggertooth. It's an artifact, so I'm not going to reveal too much. Ravenous Daggertooth for foil. 2 and a green for a 3/2 with never deal damage. Gain 2 life. I went over this guy earlier, not super excited about him, but our rare is Primal Amulet. It's a nice card to see. 4 mana for an artifact, instant and sorcery spells to cast cost 1 less to cast. 1 less. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Then, if there are 4 more of those counters on it, remove those counters and transform it into Primal Wellspring. Land that taps to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and when that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. This is a really good card in like a lot of the spell-heavy strategies, like prowess builds and stuff like that. I believe I put a couple of these in my in the Teamer Prowess decks I was brewing up. But I like this card a lot. It's nice, and it's John Avon art, so that's really neat. And then we've got oddly enough, the check card for cards like this. And then we have another Pterodon treasure token. So that's neat. So we got our first instance of a flip card in the set for the box, and so that's nice. And it's a really good one too, so that's all the better. Let's get that trash out of here. So we got Pterodon Knight, Lightkeeper, New Horizons, One with the Wind, Tishana's Wayfinder, Prying Blade, Headstrong Brute, Kinjali's Collar again, Stormfleet Pyromancer, Spreading Rot. Our first uncommon is Wild Growth Walker. 1 and a green for a 1/3. Whenever a creature you control explores, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and you gain 3 life. Pretty good in those explore strategies. Next up, we've got Imperial Lancer. Single white, has double strike if you control a dinosaur, and it's a 1/1. Good, kind of mediocre body in general, but if you have dinosaurs, I guess it's somewhat more playable, but I don't know. Next up, we have Raging Swordtooth. Speaking of dinosaurs, 3 red-green for a 5/5 with trample. Enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each other creature. This is a good card for those dinosaur decks because it triggers Enrage on all of your other dinosaurs that have Enrage. So I like this card a lot. It's good body, good cost, good keyword, just good ability. Just good card. Good dino boy. And our rare is Growing Rights of Itlamok. Yes, I was wondering when I was going to open this card. 2 and a green for a legendary enchantment. Enters battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform Growing Rights of Itlamok into Itlamok, Cradle of the Sun, which is basically just Gaia's Cradle. It's a legendary land. Tap to add a green to your mana pool, or tap to add a green to your mana pool for each creature you control. Which I love this card so much. I brewed up so many different strategies around this card already, and I am so excited that I got to open it. And it's just a really, really good card. I like it a lot. And then we got another check token, and we got another vampire token. Whew, Growing Rights. I love that card. I love it so much. I've opened a couple of the other enchantment ones in some of the bundles. In one of them I got Search for Azcanta, and the other I got Argorwell's Bloodfast. So hopefully we get to open some more pretty sick double face cards. So we got Fathom Fleet Firebrand, Legion Conquistador, which is basically just Squad Hawk on legs, no wings, just legs. Dire Fleet Hoarder, Looming Altasaur, Prosperous Pirates, Blossom Dryad, Skymarch Bloodletter, Demystify, Grazing Whiptail, it's fun to say it like that, Whiptail, Gilded Sentinel, just kind of a mediocre card. Sleek Schooner is our first uncommon. I believe I went over this guy earlier, so I'm not going to go in depth on him again. We got an Atzogon. That is hard to say. Atzocon Archer. 2 and a green for a 1/4 with a reach. Enters the battlefield, you have it fight another target creature, which for a 1/4 is not super great, but I guess ping off a 1 toughness, an X1 creature or whatever. But it's the 1/4 with reach kind of makes up for it. Next uncommon we have is Deadeye Plunderers. See a lot of people putting these in their treasure token decks. 3 blue-black for a 3/3, gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, and you can pay 2 blue-black to make a treasure token. And then our rare is Sword Point Diplomacy. 2 and a black for a sorcery, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of those cards, put that card into your hand unless any opponent pays